Hi, I'm Willie. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. If this is your first time here, please go down and click subscribe. And if you're a new subscriber returning, make sure you click that bell notification icon so you'll be notified when we publish new videos. I want to thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. If you need IT consulting, anything from security to networking, voice over IP, wired or wireless, procedural things, all the paperwork things that some people may think are boring, we can help you with that. Go to williehowe.com, reach out. We also do storage. Everything you see here on the channel you can reach out about. But go to williehowe.com, fill out that contact form, and we'll be in touch as soon as possible. If we can't help you, we'll get you to somebody who can. That's our promise to you. Now, what we were talking about today is Cisco back? So when we think about Cisco, we think about, higher end equipment. We think about, maybe some of the acquisitions that didn't go so well, like Linksys and things like that. Well, now Cisco seems to be back. And we're going to find out. You can judge for yourself, but they have a line of products, and the one that they have sent me is they sent this, which is the Cisco RV345P. So this is a dual WAN router that has, I think, 8 PoE ports. Also on the front has a DMZ port, USB. It's got the 2 WAN ports and, of course, 16 LAN ports. It does have a console cable. The one thing that I found curious is it does have an on-off power switch. But I like that it's got the console cable. So in the box, what do you get? Of course, you get the router. You get a quick start guide. You get this massive power brick. It does have a USB connector on the side. It also has a Kensington lock, so in case you're setting this on the desktop. So can you put it in a rack? Yes, you can. It comes with the rack ears. It also comes with the plastic feet for the bottom, but then it comes with the screws to put the rack ears on. Also comes with a Cisco config cable, and if you've been doing networking for a while, you know that most equipment will work with a Cisco config cable, so make sure you're hanging on to those Cisco config cables. Also comes with a single Ethernet cable. Now, a couple of things that I wanted to talk about before we get into actually looking at the router is it does have a limit of 32 VLANs. So if you're looking at this for a larger project, just remember that this is aimed at small and medium-sized businesses. I will tell you from personal experience, though, that the dual WAN load balancing and failover works as advertised, works better than most brands with very little configuration that you have to do. It just kind of works. So, and I've witnessed that firsthand on the dual WAN for failover and for load balancing. It works. So remember that you are limited to the 32 VLANs. Now, there was some questions about, do we have to have SmartNet on this? Do we have to license this? No, you do not. The only time that you have to buy a license for this, and you don't even have to, but if you want to buy the Cisco umbrella license, it's about $120 a year, somewhere in that neighborhood. And that allows you to do a lot of the threat management intelligence stuff, DNS filtering. And $120 a year is actually cheaper than DNS Filter, which has like a $20 a month minimum charge. So if you were kind of on the fence about that, take a look at the Cisco umbrella that you can buy for this. I'm not saying that it's going to fit for you, but it is definitely an option. Now, my Cisco contact did reach out to me, especially there was some question, I guess, about the licensing. So all of us that received these routers, and thank you to Cisco for sending this out. They did want to clarify that, no, you do not have to license it. What you get with this router is you get a lifetime warranty on the hardware, or a limited lifetime warranty. Now, of course, once they end of life this thing, which I don't know what the EOL is, but anyway, when your devices are getting that old, you should probably have a plan to replace them anyway. But this thing is going to last you, 3 to 5 years minimally. And Cisco is going to cover, the hardware warranty during that time. The other thing that you get is you're going to get firmware updates for the life of the product. You're also going to get 1 year of Cisco tech support out of the box with this, and that's kind of unheard of. So I will tell you up front that I had a customer just last week. We sat down and we went through the Cisco pricing with this new gear, and we went through Ubiquiti. Cisco, hands down, for this job, beat Ubiquiti. The warranty, the support, all of those things played into that. And so instead of getting a Dream Machine and a Unify 16-port switch, the customer actually went with the Cisco small to medium enterprise gear. Now, a lot of you are saying, well, you know, this is just rebranded Linksys. No, it is absolutely not. So my Cisco contact was worried about that, reached out, and that's one thing I will have to say too. The Cisco contact that I'm working with has been awesome about reaching out and making sure that if I have any questions about the device, if you have any questions, that we get those answered right away. From the horse's mouth, this is not a Linksys rebrand. These were engineered from the ground up for small to medium business. So in my opinion, what has happened is we're seeing a lot of the companies in the small to medium enterprise market space, most notably Ubiquiti, but they're not doing things that other companies are doing. They're not giving you the lifetime warranty. They're not giving you real support. They're not giving you any kind of roadmap for where they're going. And Cisco does do that. They're very public about all their end of life. They're very public about the support on this product. Now, what they did tell me is they wanted to make sure that we know that those Linksys assets were sold to Belkin, and they do respect Belkin as a competitor. So this is not a Linksys device. This is not left over. And from their point of view, it would not make any sense to just resell a rebranded Linksys. So they built these from the ground up to come into this market space, into this niche where some of these other players have dominated. Because I'm going to tell you, it's not just Cisco. There's a lot of players smelling blood in the water, and there's a lot of things that customers are unhappy with. And so companies like Cisco, they're going to swoop in and they're going to pick it up. I mean, they also sent me a switch that you're going to see a video on, and I've asked for the access points so that I can recreate for you what my customer selected, because we didn't do we did an apples to apples. We didn't just cherry pick from one product line or another. And Cisco beat it hands down on the price too. The price was almost half the price of the Ubiquiti gear. So for half that price, the customer got the Cisco support, the Cisco warranty, and the whole bit. So let's go ahead and let's get this fired up, and we'll take a look at the interface. And if you've got any questions, make sure you're putting them down in the comments. So we'll get it fired up, and we'll be right back. All right, so what you're going to want to do to get into the router is make sure that your wired port is set to DHCP. And you're going to want to power the device up. Now, I will tell you that this device, compared to some of the other devices you've seen here, it does boot a little slowly, but just give it time. Give it, 5 minutes, walk away, go get a beverage, and come back. And then go to 192.168.1.1. You'll get a security error, but we're going to log in, and the default username and password is Cisco. So we're going to go ahead and log into the device. And you can see LastPass is wanting to do its thing there. Okay, so the very first thing that this router is going to do is it is going to force us to change the password. And we do have complexity settings here, so that's very good. And then the new password must be different than the current one. That is awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change the username. And I'm going to put Cisco in there, and I'm not going to tell you what my new password is. And it says it's weak, but it is just the lab equipment. So we're going to go ahead and save this, and you're going to see it's loading data. Do we want to do this thing? No, we don't. We don't want to remember it, LastPass. And I'm using LastPass because someone else added me to their LastPass account, and I'm not really using it for anything but that. So anyway, back to this. So we get this initial setup wizard. Setup wizard helps you install your Cisco router before, make sure you are connected. So we'll just go next. And I don't have it plugged in because I just want to go over the interface a little bit. This will just be one video, and we'll come back and do other advanced videos like we do on all the other router products. And we'll also interconnect this with other routers like we've done for years with the other router products. So we're going to go next, and it's going to be DHCP. It's going to get upset, and we're going to check our central time zone. We'll enable NTP. We'll let it grab all that stuff. Now you can, looks like you can change the MAC address on the WAN port, so you can spoof the MAC in case the ISP requires certain things. We're not going to do that. Just next, we're going to keep the current password and submit. It's going to save that. Now, what you see up at the upper right-hand corner is you see that blinking red floppy disk. And so if we hover over, it says that is to save the running config. So we'll do that, and it asks us when we want to change it or how do we want to save it. And so you can also disable that, but I don't want to disable that. And you shouldn't probably either, because if you make changes and you don't save the running config upon reboot, you are going to lose your configuration. So we're going to go ahead and apply that. You can also see we can go from running to start, all that good stuff. The other options here are from startup config, backup, mirror configuration, or upload a config file from the PC. So if you're configuring this, you can export the config, put it on another device, and upload it that way. But you can also do, copy run start, copy run backup if you are familiar with those. Now, other higher end Cisco devices, you can't do the copy to PC. You have to do like a TFTP server or something like that. All right, so you've got the summary page here, and you can see we've got the host name on the router. If we click on that, we can change that. So Willie Lab Cisco. And this will be williehowe.com, and we will apply that. And we're going to click that to save the configuration there. So back to our statistics and summary. So you can see here it gives us port IDs and everything that's happening, port status on all of those ports on the front. It's got the WAN and USB interfaces. So on those USB ports, you can put, GSM dongles and use those apparently for backup. All the VPN types that this supports: IPsec, EasyVPN, L2TP, PPTP, and SSL VPN. You can see how many max sessions that it supports over here. Under our firewall, we've got SPI. It's got denial of service, firewall settings, block WAN requests, remote management is off. Logs are not set up. So if we go to TCP IP services, you can see what we've got over here. So it's listening on www.53, so it's got some DNS services running, HTTPS. Very interesting. Okay, so here's our established connections down here. We can look at the different port traffic. Our WAN quality of service statistics here. Now, like I said, I have used this in production with dual WAN, and it is flawless. So you can see here, look, it's got USB dongle driver over here. So this thing is fantastic with all of the options that it's got. So we can do a manual upgrade on our firmware. You can see all of the different options that we have for upgrading our firmware. Cisco.com, so you can go out and pull that automatically. We can pull it from our PC, from USB. And what are we going to upgrade? Firmware, the signature file, the dongle driver, or the language? So under configuration, we've got that host name and domain. Time, logging, email. So we can set it up so that we can probably send system alerts and things like that. Maybe if you lost your password. I haven't got that far into some of those features yet. We've got the different user accounts. So we do have a guest. Looks like we have a guest account account. We've got remote authentication, so it'll do Active Directory, LDAP, or Radius, which is fantastic. And then here is our authentication sequence. Cisco has put a lot of thought into this. We've got our different user groups. We've got different IP groups, so you can kind of see where this is going. SNMP configuration. Discovery protocols here. Bonjour. Got LLDP. That's pretty cool. We can do automatic updates on all of the things, which you know I'm not a huge fan of automatic updates when it comes to my infrastructure gear. Got different schedules. All right, so we've got the schedules here. So it looks like anytime schedules, business, evening hours, work hours. So we apparently have some scheduling that we can do with this. We've got service management here. When a service is in use by port forwarding, port triggering, the service cannot apply ICMP on the protocol type. Okay, good to know. PNP, that's fantastic. All right. So what else do we have? Oh, the menu doesn't collapse though. If I click on this, it doesn't collapse. So that's Cisco, if you can hear me, maybe fix that, please. All right, so we've got our WAN settings. WAN 1, WAN 2, DHCP, you can see they're both down. Multiple WAN, so here you can do failover, or you can do weighted by percentage or weighted by bandwidth, which a lot of other manufacturers need to get on board with this. And then you can see that we have the option for USB 1 and USB 2 to also be WAN interfaces. Here's your mobile network setup. Dynamic DNS. Let's see. Let's do WAN 1. Let's edit this. Let's enable it. Provider. Oh, this is a fail in my opinion. Only allowing 4 DDNS providers. We need to see more options here, and we do need to see, or at least even custom based on protocol. We've got a hardware DMZ, so we are going to have to actually see if this is like a legit DMZ. We're going to have to test this. Have not tested that yet. We've got IP version 6 transition. So this is also known as IP 4 to 6 tunneling. All right, on the LAN side, we've got all of our port settings here. So you should be pretty familiar with this if you're familiar with switching. We can do port mirroring. We can do lags. We can do up to 8 lags on this. And then also here's our mode for the speed and the duplex. Here's our PoE settings. Power mode, so we can do a port limit or we can do a class limit. We can also enable legacy, and I don't know if this was Cisco used to have a proprietary voiceover, or not voiceover, PoE protocol. I don't know if that's what that is. VLANs. So we're seeing a lot of manufacturers going to this very easy to use VLAN configuration. And so we can add a VLAN here. We'll call it VLAN 2, which it did automatically. And so it does this. It automatically creates the layer 3 interface to go along with VLAN 2. So you can see that that's what this is right here. And we can do DHCP disabled, server, or relay. So this was very forward thinking when they did this. So we can apply this. And it's loading data now. Please wait. And now you see VLAN 2 down here. It's tagged by default. But if we went to like port 15, we could edit this. And we could exclude 1 from 15 and make 2 the untagged. And we could apply that. And we'll apply and we'll save that to our running config over to our startup config so we don't lose that if we reboot. All right, so now let's just go back over and take a look. Here's your LAN, your DHCP settings here. We can do static addresses, 802.1x. So we can do port-based auth right here. And it says just ensure that you have radius server defines. That's fantastic. We've got a DNS local database, so we can do A records here. Router advertisement here. So we can, multiple routers apparently can talk to each other. Not 100% sure if, I don't know if this is RIP or what this is specifically. Well, here under routing, we got IGMP proxy. That's fantastic, actually. Look at this. So for those of you that use other manufacturers and you have problems with that, look, you can do the downstream, the upstream interface right here for the IGMP proxy and not have to worry about breaking other things. This is built into the UI. Yeah, and we'll exit. Now you can see we do have RIP here, and then it does static routing. The firewall has a lot of configuration options right off the bat. There's your SIP ALG, UPnP, remote management. Man, Cisco really put a lot of thought into this. So here's access rules. So here is where we can build all of those custom rules that we want to look at. Here's our NAT table. So we're enabling NAT on the WAN. We can do static NAT. So might be make sure that you understand what the manufacturer means when they're talking about this. Let's see. We can do port forwarding, port triggering, session timeout, DMZ. There's that DMZ. So we'll have to figure out if this is like a legit DMZ. All right, here's all of our VPN stuff. So we've got site-to-site, client-to-site, SSL VPN, PPTP, which we'll never use, L2TP. So we'll go through and we'll set some of this stuff up. GRE tunnels, for those of you who want to use GRE tunnels, it's right here in the interface, L2TP as well. We got VPN pass-through. SSL VPN is pretty interesting. If you want to see SSL VPN videos, let me know. Then under security, we've got application control. So if we turn that on, we can come down here and we can add applications. And then, of course, you have statistics, client statistics. So this does do some basic web filtering and things like that built in. Web filtering, you've got content filtering, you've got IP source guard, and then you've got the Cisco umbrella, which you have to have an account, and then you have to pay that fee. It's got some threat management. Let's take a look at that here. It's antivirus, intrusion prevention. And really, you can take this device that is sub $400 and you pair it with Cisco Umbrella at $120 a year, and you've got a much higher end device. But here you can see this, the IP signature table. You know, Cisco owns Snort, so I don't know if this is Snort under the hood. Could be. Then you've got QoS, full QoS, so switch classification, WAN bandwidth management. Of course, we've got configuration wizard, so you can do application control, VPN, and then you have the license information, which I am not going to go over at the moment. So, like I said, I do have a client that has one of these in use, and it works. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. There's no other way for me to say it. All right, so if you want to see other videos, I am going to do some other videos on this, but if there's something specific that you want to see, make sure you leave that down in the comments. Now, like I said, don't count Cisco down and out. This router is very powerful. For a sub $400 router, like I said, pair it with that Cisco umbrella at about 120 bucks a year, and Cisco's making a splash. They smell blood in the water, and they are coming to play ball. So don't count them out. I'll leave an Amazon affiliate link to this device, and that is another thing that Cisco has actually done is they've worked with Amazon, and to combat the gray market and any warranty issues, Amazon has actually become a Cisco distributor. So I'll leave an affiliate link down below where you can get one of these if you want, and don't feel obligated to use it, but it does kick a couple bucks over here, and it is appreciated. So check out this router. Let me know what other videos you want to see. I'm going to throw it in the rack. We'll do some just rando videos from time to time. And yeah, let me know what you think. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please comment and share. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you need that IT consulting. The link is williehowe.com. Fill out the contact form and we'll be in touch. If you want to support the channel by becoming a patron on Patreon, and thank you to those folks, that link is down below. And if you want to buy any of the gear, all of our affiliate links are down below. They don't change your price, but they do kick a couple bucks over to the channel. I want to thank you for being here. And as always, I'll see you in the next video.